If you're a passionate sort of a person who can get obsessive in their love of things, you might be able to think of something that you love but nobody else really does, or just something you don't feel gets anywhere near the credit it deserves. I got a few of those, but topping that list would definitely be Blue Stinger. And I will, of course, tell you why. But for now, let me just say, if you enjoy the futuristic aesthetic of Dino Crisis, Burning Rangers, Phantasy Star Online, the voice cast of Sonic Adventure, the badass action of Headhunter, the imaginative weapons of the Turok games, the dinosaurs from Dino Crisis, the heroic upbeat soundtrack of a shonen anime, the dinosaurs from the Turok games, the dad bod of Barry Burton, or basically anything from the game Astral Chain, then please stay tuned. This game is for you. Here we are, on Christmas Day, and I am a 10-year-old bearded boy wearing a t-shirt for a console I don't have yet. What's this? A Dreamcast. Incredible. Time to enjoy. So I fire that shit up and 5 minutes later I am sipping on a Hassie with the lads. This is such an underrated game. Let's get into it. Developed by visionary game maker Shinya Nishigaki, RIP, and his company Climax Graphics, Blue Stinger is a beautiful sci-fi adventure game with more heart and soul than I've seen in just about anything else. Now, rather than do a review or a retrospective sort of a thing, I've decided to try something different with this one. I want to show you how unique and special this game truly is, but I also don't want to spoil every single twist and turn, just in case I do inspire you to go and play it for yourself. Which I really hope I do. So the way I'm going to approach this is I'm just going to kind of blurt out a bunch of reasons that I think it's great without, as I say, trying to spoil too much. I ain't doing a top 10 or a listicle or anything like that. I'm just going to raw dog it and lay some truth on you about this game without too much context. But I guess I need to tell you a tiny little bit about the story first, so here we go. Elliot Ballard and Dogs Bauer are two problematic bachelors on vacation.
We request D7 equipped rescue unit now. The location is...
Wait, hold on. I'm on vacation.
And they team up with badass security guard Janine King to fight alien dinosaur zombie mutants throughout various high-tech facilities on a rather picturesque island. Okay, and now you know that, let me just start hitting you with some reasons to check it out. Here we go. I love the whole cast in this game. And if you liked Sonic Adventure, you will like this cast too, because it's the same cast. Ryan Drummond voiced Sonic in those games, and he voices Elliot here. Lani Minella voiced Rouge the Bat, and she voices Janine King, but the big boy, the man who's about to roll up and change your entire worldview, is Dogs Bauer, voiced by Dean Bristow, RIP. Nadeem Bristow also voiced Dr. Robotnik in the Sonic Adventure games, and did a fine job of it. And this guy right here, Dogs, he's certainly something quite special. He's a hard-drinking hard-ass who's absolutely done with everybody's bullshit and he knows every martial art in the world. Well, if he's got the right shirt on. That's his character gimmick, you see. Where Elliot is quicker and more nimble and has more long-range weapons, Dogs starts with a crossbow and an innate ability to learn a martial art just by wearing a t-shirt with the name of the martial art on it. Cue montage. He also dishes out some pretty savage comments on the reg, so let's have another quick montage for that here.
I can't let a wimp like you go alone. That snotty little brat. I'll bet her mother is exactly like her.
I am still a rescuer. There are people there who need help.
What a joke.
What a lad. Okay, next up I want to talk about the prime real estate. Oh, the places you'll go on and around Dinosaur Island. Power plants, military bases, genetics labs, Don Quixote Superstore, and lots of glorious open water areas. Piers, docks, landings, that kind of thing. I could honestly do an entire video mapping out the geography of this island and the cute little details in every single area, like this Sega arcade here and this barbershop over here. But sadly, I just don't think this game has enough of a fan base to warrant me doing something like that. Yet. In 12 months, when my channel blows up and everybody worships Nishigaki, I will make that video. As we move along through this video, you will see how every area kinda has its own vibe. Gimmick, personality, that kind of stuff, they're all very distinct. Honestly, a few games have locations that have stuck with me so vividly. You got Raccoon Police Station from Resident Evil 2, Shadow Moses from MGS, and maybe Big Shell from MGS2, Twinkle Park from Sonic Adventure, every room in Toy Commander, but then the whole of Dinosaur Island. Now, it's possible it might just have imprinted itself on my psyche at the exact right time in my life, but defending this game is the hill that I will likely die on. Now I'm going to run us through loads and loads and loads of guns. Borderlands is the modern choice if you want a game with entirely too many weapons, but Blue Stinger wasn't doing too shabby back in the day either, where most games of this era were content to give you just a pistol, a shotgun, maybe a machine gun and a rocket launcher. Blue Stinger has 23 unique weapons. That might not sound like a lot these days, but the variety is pretty astonishing. From baseball bats to laser swords to concrete mixers to rail guns to napalm launchers to Gatling guns, this game doesn't skimp on ways to dismember, decapitate and disintegrate. It's pretty violent, lots of endless fountains of blood and such, but it's all done in a stylish Hollywood kind of a way, or anime maybe. It's not a sickening exploitative manhunt sort of thing. Combat feels great too, for my money. It isn't deftly fine-tuned free-flow action like the Batman Arkham games, and it's not tense laser sight precision shooting like Resident Evil 4 and its ilk, but for this era when games were still kind of figuring out what good combat was, this one really holds up. Buzzwords you could toss around, explosive, impactful, bombastic, you know, it's good. It is time to talk about the fresh mechanics. One of the unique selling points about this game, for me, is its ability to stay fresh moment to moment. As I said before, each area has its own particular style, and that can be little things like how in this freezer section you start to lose health once your warmth meter runs down, but you can get warm at the heating station or by using a pocket heater. You also have to solve a puzzle to turn off the deep freeze mode, but in a FromSoft style move, is not fully explained, and you can accidentally end up fully thawing the freezer out, so then it floods and the next room changes accordingly, meaning all the ice has melted and you've got to swim through the next section. You've also got to fight a secret boss. Cool game design. It can also be weird stuff like how you've been encountering and dispatching mutant fish all this time, but now you get this no swimming, kill a fish sign and you're like, yeah, I can take them. But no, you cannot. These are like metallic invincible fish who will annihilate you completely. So what do? Because I gotta go that way for progress. Well, we hit up this here tackle shop and we find this fish poison, and then the next time you approach the pool, yeet! And if that doesn't do it for you, how about the game bringing in entirely new mechanics halfway through the story? See, Elliot swallows some slime in the lab because he's a creature of chaos, and then he undergoes a few different stages of mutation as a result of that. Don't worry, we do cure him, but during the time he is slimed, he develops Spider-Man type powers. Look at this wall climbing. And again, none of this is explained, you're not told that you're going to be able to do this, but it is crucial for progress, so you just kind of got to figure it out, and I love that. In the same way that I like similarly weird shit in early FromSoft games. Visionary game making. And like I said up top, I don't want to spoil everything for you, so you better believe there's a whole bunch more crazy stuff like this jam-packed into this game. Now then, let us take a look at those sexy high-tech menus. A short and less notable point maybe, but something that I really think helps the game feel overall. I know Square had the block locked on the sexy, sleek menus and interfaces around this time. Just look at Front Mission 3. Good God! But Blue Stinger had its own thing going on with these interfaces here, these vending machines and these snazzy little consoles for saving. This room here with the Japanese style sleep pods really brings home the crisp, austere vibe that I am trying to get across. Okay, more aesthetics. Let's see those enemy designs. Man, we got some very cool looking stuff here. This is one of my favourite pictures of Shinya Nishigaki, where he's showcasing the game enemies with these little models here. I'm not a wealthy man, but if I was, I would pay a high price for these models. Or even just a decent replica. But I digress. So, what are these enemies then? Well, lore-wise, these creatures are like dinosaur cells brought to life by alien genes and then mutated and zombified or something, which basically means anything goes. So we got the giant enemy crab, we got the huge bull type boss, we got this mini boss which is called the bull stinger, but it looks a lot less like a bull than the other bull enemy. We got the evil crows, the tentacles, the weird little caterpillar guys that are honestly very cute. We even got a freaking kaiju. It's a real mishmash of different influences, and somehow, I guess just because the game is pretty damned insane anyway, it all works. All sounds good too because of that glorious soundtrack. Composed by Toshihiko Sahashi of Gundam Seed and Hunter x Hunter fame, the music in this game fucking slaps. It slaps harder than maybe any other soundtrack I have ever heard. And yes, I have heard the Persona 5 soundtrack. The variety here is awesome, from big inspiring sweeps like this here as you walk up to the shuttle port. I'm going to be quiet in a moment, please just take this walk in with me and feel the gravitas of this tune. Goosebumps. And then there's also more serene and meditative hangout type stuff like this one. This tune's for the control room, or brain center as it's credited on the soundtrack. It's the room where Janine helps to plan and oversee your wacky schemes and crazy adventures, and every time you come back to this gentle music and slick looking room after many a battle, it really hits in a very cathartic way. But it can also boot off and give you big bad boss tunes like this one when a hefty enemy turns up. Bottom line, it's all really well crafted. It is the soundtrack to my childhood. And it also serves very well to score the surprisingly cinematic vibe. Nishigaki mentioned in a few interviews how big Hollywood blockbusters influenced his vision for this game, and it really shows. We got Chad moves like this one here.
History. Can't go any further.
Don't give up so easily.
This system takes air from the top level of the tank to avoid corrosion. Do not expose to heat.
Slower moments like this one.
What a bitch!
And then we also have some great moments of environmental storytelling. Take a look at this long walk here down to the core of Gigadent, the big important high-tech crater in the game. It's a vital moment in the story, and you really feel the weight of it here in the design, and again that bopping soundtrack. The entire game just has the perfect pace. This is more of an overall point about cohesion, but anyone who's seen a few of my videos knows that I like a sense of freedom in games, but I do also like a sense of purpose. Modern open world games can sometimes feel a little bit bland, but if you go too far the other way, you don't get to stop and smell the roses. So the formula I like the best is basically what every Zelda game's been doing for quite some time, where you're free to explore at all times, but there is a very obvious narrative quest that you can just pick up whenever you want. Blue Stinger is like that. If I want to hang out and explore the docks or do some shopping or hone my dodges with these laser robots, then I can. Did I miss an optional boss or item? I can backtrack. I don't think you're ever locked into endgame until you literally climb the final tower to start the final boss sequence, which is something quite magical too. In short, when you put all these things together, I can confidently say there is nothing else like it. Now this is not so much a point I guess as it is a conclusion, but if you've watched this far, then I hope you will agree with me that this game really stands out as a singular vision. Crazy, compelling, goofy, emotive, violent yet comforting, this game really does have it all. And I don't usually do this, but if I have convinced you to check this out, or even if you just want to share your thoughts, please do leave me a comment below, as I would love to hear from you. But for now folks, keep a hassy on ice for me, and I will catch you in the next one.